Hello everyone, this is Cerebellum, and today we're doing a replay review of the artist formerly known as Skeleton King, aka the Wraith King, this time played by time-traveling Hipster. So thank you, time-traveling Hipster, for sending in the replay. Yeah, let's just go over the hero real quick. This, unlike the last one, which was kind of a fancy kind of analysis team composition deal, this is gonna be just straight up hero analysis. So, what's Wraith King all about? Well, he's got a stun slowy type thing, which is to say 2 seconds of stun and 2 seconds of slow in a projectile. It's got pretty decent range at 525, not impressive, but you know, it gets the job done. This is a pretty good reason to get a blink dagger on him actually. It does a reasonable amount of damage, 80 at level 1 and 300 level 4, but you really get it just for that stun slow. It does cost 140 mana. This is a lot for a melee hero, not a melee hero, but a strength hero like Ostarion here, the Wraith King. And mana pool is very important on him, so we're gonna take a look at that later. He is gonna run him as a support actually. He's bought the courier and the wards, so that also puts more stress on his mana pool since he cannot get that many ironwood branches. That's what they call ironwood branches. Or he could get a clarity. He still has the money for that. Second ability, Vampiric Aura. This is a lifesteal aura. Every ally within 900 of you will get this lifesteal, and it stacks with all other forms of lifesteal. So it stacks with Lads, it stacks with Satanic, Mask of Madness, you know, Helm of the Dominator, whatever you get. I think that's pretty much all of the major ones, I think. So this is pretty good. Like it's a good ability. I don't think you need too much introduction to this. Certainly there's some guys on his team here that's gonna enjoy it. Everyone with good right clicks here. Certainly the Juggernaut and the Silencer will enjoy it immensely having this. Mortal Strike, this is just a passive on himself. This is just a crit. It's got a pretty big chance, 15%, and it's got pretty decent damage. So at level 1, if you get a crit, you will be doing 225%. It says 125 here, but that's because that's just the crit damage. Of course, you'll be doing 100% of your normal hit as well. And then at level 4, you'll be doing 275. And one thing with these crits is they actually transfer to illusions. So if you have, for some reason, have like a, what is it called, Manta style, the illusions can actually crit. They won't crit for full damage, but they will crit. So that's neat. That's one of the reasons why Chaos Knight has crit, because that works with his illusions. And so the more you know and all that. Yeah, pretty good ability. What you want to do by level 5 is have 3 levels in Wraith Fire, so you get this at level 1, 3 and 5. You get probably Vampiric Aura level 2 and Mortal Strike level 4. So that is Wraith Fire, Vampiric Aura, Wraith Fire, Mortal Strike, Wraith Fire. So you max this out first. It doesn't cost more mana per level, and it's pretty good. But you want to make sure you don't use it at the wrong time because of your ultimate. So when you get to level 6, you have a really important ultimate, which is kind of his whole shtick here, is this reincarnation. So this is basically an Aegis. This is the same as having an Aegis from Roshan. Almost. So it's got a huge cooldown, especially at the lower levels. It's 260 seconds. I can't actually mention a cooldown that's, think of a cooldown that's even remotely that huge. Maybe Enigma's Black Hole is pretty close, but this is a long ass cooldown. Yeah. So that is, how much is that? That is more than 4 minutes. 4 minutes 20 seconds, I think it is. So yeah, that's a long time. It takes you 3 seconds to reincarnate, pretty much the same as an Aegis, and then you slow every enemy around you for 75% and 75 attack slow, not 75%, but 75 attack slow for 5 seconds in also the standard aura radius, which is to say 900. The same thing with this Vampiric Aura, it's 900 around you, so it's a pretty big radius. Pretty much the whole team fight will feel this when either of these happens. So yeah, obviously this makes you harder to gank. It makes you kind of risky to gank, because you can, what I recommend you do is you get Blink Dagger on this guy, and then if you initiate in and they kill you, they're gonna get this huge slow, and your teammates can come in and, you know, tear them up when they can't move for the 75% slow, and can't, you know, attack either, really. But it does cost mana. Even though it's a passive, it's a triggered, like, think of it as a triggered spell. So it costs pretty much the same mana as his Wraith Fire Blast for 140, so if we had it here at level 1, of course we don't, but then actually using one Wraith Fire Blast will put us below 100 mana, which is not enough to use your ulti, and we don't have enough mana. It's just not going to trigger and you're just going to die. And in some cases that's actually good. When the reincarnate won't benefit you, you avoid triggering off that cooldown. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you have an Aegis, if you get the Aegis on this guy for some reason, I don't think in most cases that's not a good idea, since, you know, one revive is kind of enough. But, you know, if you get the Aegis in addition to your reincarnation, then the reincarnation will be spent first. So if you have an Aegis and reincarnate up, it will spend reincarnate, and then if you die again, it will be the Aegis, because the reincarnate will be on cooldown. So I think that about does it. Normally, I think these starting items for a support is pretty good, and he is going to be running him as a support here, and with this team I think that's a good idea. Good idea, looking forward to see this a lot. And yeah, he's going to be missing a bit of mana, but else it's pretty good. It's pretty good. He's got a stun, he can initiate, all kinds of good stuff. Let's just get to it. Let's just follow his perspective for a little while. Don't we have music? I'm pretty sure there's music on.
30 seconds to battle.
Thank you, peasant.
He's got some good lines. The only king that matters. Oh, he did buy a clarity, yeah, so mana is pretty important on him, as I talked about. I think he gave a ward to... yeah, he gave a ward to their offlaner, the next offlane there. That's always good, you know. If the offlaner knows what to do with it, then it's pretty good. This case, the Nux didn't opt to block the camp, which sometimes can be good. He's gonna pick up the Invis rune here, he's gonna look for gank mid. This is pretty good if you can get the Invis rune, and you think you can get a gank off. PA mid is pretty odd. I haven't seen that before. She needs a bit of backup, so he's just kind of hanging out. Okay, he's gonna go for it now, I think. There we go. Oh, almost had it. Almost had it. If he'd gotten her while she was in the river, I think that would have worked out perfectly. And he's just gonna roam with this guy, actually. This is really neat. I think this is really neat. But, okay, yeah, I thought he was roaming, but if he's just gonna land up here, like, if he's just gonna plan to stay up here with the Nux, I think this is a mistake. And... or is it? Or is it? Okay, they're against the Shadow Shaman and a Slaughter. Okay, so what do we have down here? We have a tiny Juggernaut. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so these are already 2 melees down here. Third melee won't really help. Yeah. And then they're up against 2 ranged. So I think maybe what I would have done is go down here and try to get a kill on the Rubik or the Leshrac. That would have been pretty viable. Like, the Juggernaut has got sensible spec and Tiny's got good spec, so they've got a ton of nuke, a ton of magical damage they can just fire off with the Tiny combo and the Juggernaut spin. So I think probably cycling down here would certainly be the higher kill potential, especially since the Nux can't really do anything remotely like a Tiny down here, and the Nux is pretty safe against this, honestly. Oh, is he? Maybe not, maybe not. This is actually pretty decent, like Slaughter and Shadow Shaman. But I think there's more potential to do something in the bot lane. Sure, when you have the Empiric Aura, surely you can just try to jungle a little bit if there's nothing happening down here. So I think that would have been slightly better. Slightly better. But let's see what it can make happen up here. Yeah. The reason why I think he's maybe just looking to stay up here is because they're doing dual lanes. Like, he's just thinking, oh well, we don't want to bottleneck ourselves up in the bottom lane, all of us, so he's going top, and that's not going to be a lot of stuff that can happen there. So the Leshrac's getting a lot of last hits, but he is up against the double melee, so there's no harass coming the way of the Leshrac, so he can just get a ton of farm. Yeah. He's leveling up like I said he would, or like I said he should, so that's pretty good. Tiny's gonna fall down there. Not surprised by that at all, like they would just, you know, it's hard to compete with 2 melees. And, you know, a Leshrac, when he does have a setup, that's one thing I just quickly want to mention. This Split Earth takes him a long time to cast it. It has a stun delay of 0.35, so it actually takes him a good while to, he kind of goes on his hind legs, he kind of lifts himself up and then slams down with his front legs. That's the animation for it, and then it comes out. So you can actually move out of the way of it if you know it's coming. Unless, of course, if you have a Rubik that's lifted you up in the air and you can't move at all, then, you know, it gets kind of hairy. And then he just has a ton of nuke. He's seeing a pretty... oh, I forgot to mention that, but he's seeing a pretty good a change in the next patch. Leshrac, in that they're adding a slow to lightning storm here, small like 0.5 second slow of 75%. So that's looking forward to see what that's gonna do. I'm not sure it's gonna really help the hero enough. Like it's not being played very much, but it's gonna be interesting in the spring cleaning update. There was one change for Wraith King as well. I'm just gonna look it up because I completely forgot what it is. Go. Okay. Yeah, it's a buff to Mortal Strike and a reduction to his armor. So he is being played a little bit in the pro scene. Wraith King. Where did you go? Where did you go, Wraithy? Oh, he's right here. Yeah. So in the next patch, the Mortal Strike here is gonna be buffed up. Right now it's 125% damage bonus at level 1, and it's gonna go up to 1.5 times. So it's gonna get 25% more damage on crits, pretty much across the board. Yeah, pretty much across the board. So his crit will be better, but his base armor will be lower, which means he'll be weaker in the start and tougher in the late game. So it's gonna be more carry-ish than the support is. Because he's gonna, you know, you're pretty reliant on the space armor. You can see he's already eaten through all his regen here. It's no fun being a media supporter. I think actually roaming around would actually be his best alternative here. The Silencer is gonna get a kill on the Phantom Assassin without any help, so yeah. But now he's stuck in lane. He's got no mana. Can't really do jack all. Like he doesn't have a stun anymore. He doesn't have any life. And now, you know, he's just pretty much sapping XP down here. I think if he'd gone bottom, there would be a much better chance of winning that lane, and the Nyx is pretty self-sufficient up here. I don't think they can really hope to kill the Nyx super god. Yeah, like, they'll have to get the Shadow Shaman in range into that, you know, 400 range of the Nyx to get a hit in. And he's up against another melee, which is pretty good for him. Even though, you know, if he goes too close to the Slardar, I guess the Slardar can add a stun, and then he can just do the Shadow Shaman Shackle, and then he might be in trouble next, but still, it could be good. So they're gonna leave the Leshrac alone in bottom and shift up the Shadow Shaman up here. Nice call, going over here and trying to find the creeps. He's actually gonna pull the creeps down here. This is super smart, so he can farm them. If there was a Rave, at least it would be super smart. Now the tower's just gonna kill him. So, but at least they get the XP. I don't know what he's doing now. Oh, he's blocking the camp.
Tower is under
Whoa.
attack.
That's pretty smart. Doesn't want any kind of camp blockage. Pulls a little bit more important when there's only one in lane. Like they're gonna be pushing more with two, and they're gonna be, you know, especially with the unfortunate thing about Wraith King's aura is that it actually applies to creeps as well. They get the 20% lifesteal. So this is gonna push the lane as well. They're gonna do the thing I talked about, lead with the Slardar stun and going to shackles. If he had the mana for it, he should definitely be stunning the either of these guys right now, and that would help save the Nyx. Oh, and the Nyx is dead, but they're gonna get the Slardar. Yeah. So that was probably worth it. Probably worth it, yeah. Probably pretty good for Wraith King's team here. So, but yeah, Wraith King is not super farmed, not super farmed at all. He does have his ulti now. Now it's going to be a tough call whether or not you want to use your stun or not. In which situation, certainly shouldn't just, you know, use it as
Dire's
readily as
middle tower is under attack.
That ward,
Radiant's
I am not
bottom
a
tower
fan of.
is under attack.
Because if you think of it, what is it really spotting out? It's not spotting this rune. So there's a strike against it already. It's spotting this area, but people aren't really going in here. Like this one here already blocks this camp. That's perfect, that's fine. You can even see if people are hanging around over here, they're trying to do a pull. But they're coming in here, using this way to come in here and gank. So that's good. Like this, the one thing it does is it gives you vision of this area here, which is pretty valuable. But that's the only thing it does. Like you could have gone a little bit further down and then just put it here. And that would also spot out this invis rune, which would make it, you know, easier for the silencers to just go and pick it up. But he didn't, so yeah. I don't like that rune, basically. No, not rune, the ward. I'm stumbling over my words today. Oh, super easy kill, pretty good. But now he doesn't have mana for his ulti.
Middle tower is under
Not
attack.
super good. For a support Wraith King, what do you go? I think maybe you just go straight into Blink. that's one good thing about laning with a Nyx. He's gonna have arcane boots, and you're gonna get a bunch of mana. Slaughter gonna make a bit of a mistake here. They're gonna get a super easy kill. Not bad at all trading this for a kill on the Slaughter here. That's the safe lane carry. That's pretty valuable. I say next to the PA, for some reason the PA is mid. I think this is pretty bad, but that's what they're gonna do. Then you know the Slaughter is the highest valuable target. So that was pretty clever, just using the reincarnation there. The Slaughter should have known better, honestly. If you ever played against Wraith King, you should know that he does that trick there, and you can't get away once he's done it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
These auto attacks I'm not a fan of. They're pushing in really hard. And now they're going for him because they know that the overdiving here.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Go. Managed to get a kill on the Slaughter. Still manages a good straight despite the go. He's gonna die, our Wraith King, but they manage a kill on the PA. So really good trades being made here. I think some pretty intelligent play from our Wraith King. It's unfortunate that Nyx missed his stun there, because they could have gotten a better trade there. But that Nyx stun is pretty tricky these days. Pretty tricky. So we see we are 2 times speed here, and the ultimate is still not off cooldown. Still a good amount of time left before it's up. So it is a huge cooldown on level 1. Which, you know, it is powerful, but it's still also a huge cooldown. So the power threats here, not overly sure it's a good idea. Maybe would have liked to see an Urn. Urn could have been cool. Give you a bit of mana regen, give you some HP, give you some strength, which is good. When you're running a support, you're of course not nearly as right-clicky as usual. And he is running a support, like he's been buying most of the wards, bought the courier. I didn't catch if he upgraded the courier, but he did all that stuff, so. Go. There we go, he's doing exactly what I'm talking about. Going in, letting them kill him, and just using that revive to get a triple kill here. So this is actually very hard to give some feedback on. He's just playing this wonderfully right now. Aside from the item, I'm still not sold with this power set. It has the same movement speed. All you're getting is a better right click, and he's. But he certainly could be a right clicker. He's. Go. Just gonna chase that down. Pretty decent engagement in game. They're just gonna snowball. Yeah, so they're just snowballing hard here. Right, so. Wait, what did he buy there? Is that a javelin? Yeah. So, overextension there, pretty simple, not much to say about that. Yeah, what was on that thing? I wanna know, so I'm gonna pause it. Gonna look on the courier. Time traveling hipster. Yeah, it's a javelin. That's probably a basher, right? It could be a Monkey King bar to counter the blur, but that's a damage dealer thing. So I'm not 100% sold on this. The javelin's pretty expensive. I think you should definitely get a blink dagger, even if you're running support. It's actually better as a support because you're risking that much less. Much more tempting to risk a support's life than a core's life. Which, you know, you're kind of kamikaze blink-ins. Oh well. It's not like you're exploding, it's not techies, but it's sort of a trap blinking. Because, you know, when you blink in, what you're doing with this guy is kind of putting him in a kind of Sophie's choice. Like, either you abandon one guy who got blink stunned, or you're kind of focusing down the Wraith King. If you focus down the Wraith King, you're gonna get slowed, and he's pretty hard to focus down. He's pretty tanky. But if you don't, like, he's probably gonna kill that guy. But yeah, they're just pretty far ahead now. Now just a bit of jungling, I don't know why he's jungling right now. I really don't. He wants to get up this Basher, but I think that's honestly pretty bad. The thing is, Basher really likes attack speed, and his attack speed is really, really mediocre. And now he's gonna get focused down. So that was a bit of bad map awareness. So let's just go back a little to when he decided to go over here and farm. So he's here farming. They have a guy over here. He's probably gonna die. So let's just see. Tiny over here dies. He's still here. He's gonna go over towards it. So he's just not paying attention to the map here. He definitely should know that. You should definitely, whenever someone dies, just glance down, see where it happened. Yeah, so he was just pretty bad about that. As a support, always carry a TP, so you can TP in and support the guys that actually matter. Well, not the guys that actually matter, but support the cores. So if your carry is in trouble, you just TP in and help. Especially as Wraith King. Is super good, because of course you can kind of turn the whole situation around with your ultimate if it's up. Yeah, they're gonna take a tier 2 because of that. I was thinking this might be a really poor replay to review, because this it's kind of a storm, but it's honestly just really aggressively paced. And I guess because I haven't paused at all yet, so...
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Not very much, then it's progressing very fast. So, if we just quickly... He's just gonna go back to farming. He really wants this bash. I don't think that's the right call at all. The Radiant there, I had a little bit in gold. And I had a lot of experience. So they have the experience lead. That's what all these kills have netted them. All this farm. Take a look at the net worth chart. The Leshrak's doing really well, but if I recall, the Leshrak is gonna be doing weird shit. He's got a Bloodstone, which is good. But yeah, I think maybe the item choices from this point on, I'm not gonna approve of the Leshrak. And now your Juggernaut just died, so maybe this is not the right time to go in here. So you can be a little brave as Wraith King. You can take a little bit more risks. Yeah, this Basher, I'm not... the thing is, he's only doing 1 attack per second. And if you look at a fast attacker, like say an agility hero, do we have one? Like say Nostrum here? The Silencer, he's actually slower right now. Okay. His PA, it's actually also slow. But yeah, anyway, when your attack is this slow, I think a Basher is kinda bad. You kinda want attack speed. So you're gonna have, you're not gonna land very many attacks before, yeah. And you do have the Vampiric Aura, you do have the crit, so maybe it's just something to catch up to people. Be good, like a drum would be good. But I think still the blink, this thing is pretty much more expensive than a blink. Like just the ingredients, aside from the recipe, is pretty expensive. He's just looking for someone to gank here. It's not the worst way to spend your time, but they are, they have one ward out. I think he could just buy wards, get some more defensive wards out. When you've lost as many turrets, or towers, not turrets, then defensive wards are always going to be a good thing to get. Tiny's going to get caught out. It's pretty bad. They're going to get 5.
Material trade.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So they managed to do a 2-for-1 trade there, even in a disadvantaged fight.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And the starter drops out.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, this is actually a low priority game, isn't it? That's what that message was. So now they're just kind of... Okay, they're waiting. So, we don't want to wait. They're gonna kill off the Wraith King and everything. Fighting under the wards, overstaying your welcome there. Pretty simple, pretty simple. Once you've gotten the kill, reevaluate how much resources you have left. And GTFO. Unless you are good to go for actually putting the tower, but when there's Serpent wards there, maybe not smart at all. So one thing I like there is when he's dead, he's checking the enemy's items. That's a good thing to do, good thing to know what they have. And he's gonna buy the wards now. A bit late, but still good that he's getting them. And the enemy's using that the awesome pushing power of the Shrek is gonna be able to capitalize on this. Go, Shrek just wrecking everyone. Yep. Jesus, man. This ability right here does so much damage. Diabolic Edict does so much damage. He also has 20 charge Bloodstone. He's doing 30 mana a second regen, which is a lot. And he's gonna die now. He's gonna die trying to stun the... just as I was praising him, he's gonna die trying to stun the magic immune Juggernaut. Leshrac, you disappoint me. He's doing really well. Oh, the Rubik actually being a little bit tricky there. A little bit tricksy. Let's see this Leshrac. He's gonna get Shadow Blade. That's interesting. Oh yeah, I guess you can just activate Diabolic Edict and go into Invis. Kinda like the same thing Death Prophets like to do. Where you just kinda... If you have an effect that goes on for a long time after you cast it, which doesn't interrupt your Invis, you can just kinda turn it on and then Invis and then go forward. And then you'll have that effect around you while the enemies won't be able to see you unless they have true sight.
Your elements
and that's the part where, you know, probably shouldn't have taken that fight, probably should recognize that Wraith King, or not Wraith King, Leshrac, the Tormented Soul is super farmed right now. This guy has, I wanna check out how much he has actually. So let's see, the net worth, yeah, 14,000. 14,000 this guy is leaps and bounds ahead of most of the rest of the game. Certainly he has super much XP per minute. He's got 7. That's a lot. So this Leshrac's having a game of his life right now. Oh, well, not the game of his life, but a really good game. They're not actually that much ahead, but the Leshrac's ahead, and he's playing decently with it. Like, he's getting some good stuff. I like the Bloodstone, of course. He's gonna get Aghanims here, which I think is good. Gives him more stats, gives him more damage on his ulti. Okay. This does not actually work with the Shadow Blade. It says right there, so that is a little bit bad. But later on, he's gonna be building an Assault Korath, which is really bad on him. I don't understand. So yeah.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, and we're just gonna wait until Astarion here wakes up from his slumber. There we go. He's up. He's up and about. He's walking around. They're pushing top. What's Astarion doing? They're pushing top. They are pushing top. They're fighting top. And he was warding Roshan. That is not a good time to be warding Roshan. That's a good time to be TPing back. And maybe you gotta turn that fight around if you TP right on top of the enemy. Of course, your ulti wasn't cool on there, but still, just excuses. Lara is fucked. Is he gonna build BKB now? He's gonna build BKB now. So he's trying to transition into this semi-carry thing. And that's not too bad. Not too bad, but I don't know if I think that's the best thing to do here. I still miss that Blick Dagger. I still think the initiation with it could be very good. Good indeed. He is just kind of man fighting up this Leshrac. But I don't know. Yeah, okay, now with the silencer. That's kind of can't really try to take on Astarion solo like that. When he's this far into his own territory, he's just gonna have backup. I mean, yeah. So he's just farming. Gonna go. Oh hey, they're doing Rosh, guys. They're Roshing. They're Roshaning. And are they gonna contest? Are they gonna contest? No, they're just gonna get... This Rack just gonna do a casual run by nuking here. Jesus, Leshrac. This is the scariest Leshrac I've seen in a long time. So yeah, don't hang around Roshan if the other team is doing Roshan if you're not planning on contesting. So that you know it. I don't know if this is like a team game, if this is a stack they're running with or anything, but not the smartest, not the best outcome. And we're up again. Height. Let's see.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
See, but now we're starting to get to the point where the Leshrak's gonna fall off in efficiency, because people are starting to get so high level that they have a lot of life, and his nuke's starting. Not gonna scale anymore, not gonna be able to get much more of his damage out. Nice one. And now, okay, he is carrying a TP. Good, good. So he should definitely be looking to TP bottom here and defending. Yep, that's what he's gonna do. That's what he's gonna do. It's good. It's good. There we go. Managed to burst down the Leshrak. This should be a cake now. Should literally be. Yep. Super cake. Super good. If you had a blink now, this would be easy to catch. But looks like they're not gonna. Are they gonna need? They're gonna need. Oh. Oh. Threw the nukes at it, and the nukes just walked away.
Dire's middle tower is
They're just doing chase of the year here, and they managed to get her.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower.
And now he's just
under
gonna keep
attack.
farming. Like he
Structures
just
are
really wants farm.
fortified.
Ah, is he gonna? Don't use the courier just for the mithril hammer. Yeah, don't use the courier for that. It's not worth it, especially not worth getting the courier killed for it. So. Yeah. Also, I don't know if I think BKB is really worth it on this guy. Certainly not as a support, I don't think it's really worth it. You do a lot of damage, but not, you know, that much more. If they want to nuke you down, I'd say be my guest. So, yeah, maybe what else would be good? Maybe just go in towards Manta style instead. Yeah, I think Manta style would be good. Just to get that the attack speed from it. Or actually, Assault Cuirass. I'll just build one of those. Just go Super Tank instead of BKB. Just kind of walking around, placing a few wards. Wasting a little bit of time here. Wasting a good amount of time actually. Now they're looking to make something happen. Still low, still missing that blink. I know I say it a lot, but blink is just so good. Even if you're uncomfortable with it, you know, you're not gonna get comfortable with it without getting used to playing with it. So the enemies are gonna run uphill into a fight, and that's not good. You know. Go. Yeah. Like running up these hills into engagements is bad. Like you're just so few of these engagements where if you know the enemies have a full team and you're running uphill to chase one of them, there could be some waiting for you there, unless you know different. You know, it's just so dangerous. And the opponent's gonna pay for it there.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Finally gonna take down this tier 1.
Bottom tower has fallen.
There's the BKB. I mean, it's just... Also, what's this BKB protecting? Is it just the... Yeah, I don't really get it, this BKB.
Your shadow has fallen to the radiant.
Wicked double kill. Triple kill.
So, failed Roshan snatch attempt there. Not a lot of influence from the Wraith there, but didn't need it at all. Juggernaut was enough.
Dire's middle tower
Juggernaut
is under
silence, I
attack.
should say.
Dire's middle tower has
Often
fallen.
that's enough. Yeah, they're really good.
Radiant structures
They're just
of
gonna push in
Radiant's
now.
top
The
tower
Shrek's
is
gonna
under
try for a
attack.
split push here. I think that's pretty clever. Good job by
Radiant's
Tiny
top
there.
tower is under attack.
Wave King just and there we go, that's the revive doing its work. But now, you know, I would have probably just saved the BKB charge there. If you're that isolated, you know, you just sacrificed your 10-second BKB for nothing there. And you know, BKB is a tank item, and it's only a tank item. If you had gotten... Yeah, he's getting it now, he's getting AC now. I think that's the wrong order of things. I think Basher into Ishi is acceptable, it's okay. But that attack speed is really, really good on him in general, and it's really even better with...
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
with the
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
thing. The Shrek almost getting racks here. So another really long chase. These chases would pretty much just end if he had Blink Dagger. He would just blink right ahead and it's done. Yeah, so just a bit of farming going on. Really not very exciting. Like the ward coverage is acceptable right now. This ward up here, this one up here is really good. See if you can place one there, especially if the tier 2 is down, it's really good. Like it just spots out the enemy forest. You can kind of see if there's any opportunities to kills. Yeah, the Leshrak's gonna have a hard time with this Juggernaut. These two abilities that make him invulnerable to everything the Leshrak does, kind of making the Leshrak a lot less effective.
Dire's structures are fortified.
They're trying to backdoor here, but they don't quite have the damage for it. But now they can just go in.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now they can.
Dire's bottom tower.
Tiny's got his
has
axe up
fallen.
as well, so he's gonna wreck stuff now. Yeah, the Leshrak just doesn't stand a chance now. But
Dire's bottom tower. Dire's bottom barracks
Yeah.
has fallen.
oh, there's a gem actually on Red King. He might have picked that up from kill. Probably did. Probably against the Nyx they got that.
Has fallen.
So that's overall pretty good. Yeah, it's just they gotta pick off with the Leshrak. Leshrak's the damage dealer, so they could just push in the right position. Okay, that BKB is pretty bad. Yeah, so he again used his BKB right when he was about to die.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Yeah. So not very good.
Dire's top tower. Dire's
But
top
yeah,
barracks
no.
are under Dire's top
Even though he was kind of
Dire's
looking at the
top
shop
barracks are
and he got caught out, they only almost killed him and then he just reincarnated and completely sealed the deal there. So good hero, Wraith King. Good hero. And this is probably the end of the game. Certainly looks like it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Assassin. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And you do need mana
Dire's
for your
ancient
ultimate.
is under attack.
So fooling around like that, not gonna do you any
Dire's
favors,
ancient
not gonna do you
is
any
under
favors at
attack.
all.
Radiant victory.
And that's the video. So, quite a lot shorter than my usual ones, and you know, just focused on his general movement and his abilities and stuff. I would have liked to see more of an initiator role taken. Would have loved to see that. Would have loved to see a Blink Dagger. Would have loved to see stuff like that happen. You did have the Nyx to act as an initiator. Nyx didn't get a blink either. Nope. He just got Dagon. He went Dagon route. Yeah, that's the pop route, as I like to call it. That's pretty good. Tiny didn't go blink either. Just went for axe. Just went for that billion damage. The other team did go for blinks, but they didn't have the damage to follow through for it. That Leshrak liked to roam a little bit too much alone. Like to split push. He's not the best split pusher. Leshrak, one of the reasons why he's not played too much. Like he does damage very fast, but he's no innate escape like say Nature's Prophet or Weaver or Phantom Lancer. You know, the classical big split push heroes. So it's limited how well it can work out for him. And you know, even though he managed to so a hero like Leshrak, these big nukers can dominate the mid game. As we saw here, he got off to a really good start, and he got off a really early Bloodstone and a lot of kills early on, and got a lot of levels. And then he got to level 16, and his nukes kind of pan out. They don't do any more damage from here on. They're up at max damage, and then he's super dangerous. and then he starts becoming less dangerous gradually as the game goes on, and he can't just nuke people down super fast. So kinda what went wrong there is they didn't manage to end the game while Leshrac was dominating, in part because the Phantom Assassin had a bad lane. She's the hardest carry on the team, and she just never really got off to a good enough start. For a 51-minute long game, her farm here is pretty bad. I don't like the Battle Fury on her. I think just straight damage is better. But looks like she was building all over the place actually. There's nothing you can build with a Yasha and a Demon Edge. So yeah, she was getting some farm, but very little. If she had gotten off to, if they'd been better about protecting her, if she had gotten a better farm, she could have had a bigger impact, and they could have carried that over to the late game. Instead, the mid game carries were too much on the other team, the Silencer and Juggernaut. Silencer a little bit more late game carry, but Juggernaut tends to fall off a little bit in the late game, but he just got off to monsters game here, and yeah, about the same as the Leshrac, and the Juggernaut just wins out in that situation because he's very hard to nuke down. Like when he's in Omni Slash or when he's in Blade Fury, he cannot take magical damage, pretty much. And yeah, that's kind of how it panned out. It was just yeah, you need to leverage the advantage you get when it's that specific. Yeah. The Leshrac also played a lot less about the team fights as I thought he should have, maybe. Like he was often split pushing and stuff. When it's very easy to do with the outer towers, as we saw, they fell very fast for the Radiant. But when it comes to pushing high ground, that's a lot harder. A lot harder. You kind of need to pushing all the lanes and then have them have to defend 2 places at once. So 2 split pushes is really good. They only had 1. One you can just kind of get someone home and defend. And with Leshrac, it just kind of has to be anyone here. Like Silencer can defend against the Juggernaut, certainly can. Tiny can, and Tiny sorta can. I guess maybe he could kill Tiny. He could maybe kill Nyx, though Nyx is sorta nasty against him as well because of the mana burn. And the reflected damage is also a guaranteed stun against Leshrac. Despite Carapace, I mean. Yeah, but enough about this game. I hope you've enjoyed it. It was very fast. And, just took a little bit of a look at what Wraith King does and how you should utilize it. And also, saw a bit of an untraditional support in action. So I hope you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing if you did, and liking, of course. My name's been Cerebellum. The directions for sending in the replay is in the description of the video as per the usual, and I am out.